Tony D here with another Mega Mini 2-minute drill review. Once again, try to keep them in 2 minutes. Sometimes they're so great, I just have to keep going. But I do start off with the one that least resonated with me at the top. Just the intention is just to give you a little bit of the deets, give you a little bit of that flavor of it, you know, man. It's kind of like smelling what your mom was cooking in the kitchen type deal, man. She gives you a little taste, you know, a little spoonful of it, and you're like, oh man, I gotta have that. So let's kick it off. We have Cruel Universe. I love my science books, and this one isn't gonna be one. Did not resonate with me. Felt like the stories were, I don't know, man, like they're trying to fit a circle peg in a square hole. It just wasn't there. If you are a science fiction fan, I would not recommend getting into this. That's really hard for me to say because I love all comics, but it just wasn't there. The artwork, just give you some of the deeds, and it's not really the art. It was more the writing for me. The artwork, the artwork definitely was not the issue. It was the writing, totally the writing. They're trying to capture that. It's almost like they're trying to capture that, oh, that I gotcha moment, that Twilight Zone moment, or that Black Mirror moment, and it didn't happen. But I don't know, if you're into EC and you're a loyalist, that's the only reason why I would get it. But new history of the JSA. I wasn't going to keep getting this, but you know, I have some nostalgia to the Marvel Universe. Those were fantastic back in the day, and I do like reading, you know, some history. Oh yeah, this artist is fantastic. I would get it for this, for sure. There's actually 2 artists on here. I'm totally drawing a blank, eating into my 2 minutes. But if you know, you know, right? But yeah, it's totally worth that. I do like the format at the back if you want to get into issue numbers and what happened when. It's a good little thing to have. And shout out to DC's Who's. I really loved that when that came out. It actually came out the same time, right around the same time Crisis on Infinite Earths, and that was a great time because a lot of heroes are being reintroduced, and so, you know, we'll see what they do moving forward. May not stick with it. I might. I don't know. Blink and you'll miss it. Love my indies. Boom Studios. We have On the Writing Duties, written by Ethan S. Parker and Griffin Sheridan, illustrated by Keith Browning. Artwork was not bad. The story, this is, you know, it's your typical setting things up. There is a mysterious vibe to the whole setup. You are introduced to weird things like that. Futuristic hat. They do put in little details like that where it makes you think, and I like books like that. So it is a time travel, I think it's like a space-time continuum type book, because she starts off, this is like, I would say, the protagonist, and that is a protagonist. The antagonists are, I'm going to say, the town that they're in. There's something about the town. They do a great job of revealing this. And yeah, you have quite possibly Alien and the dark arts too, because the people are creepy. And there's some religious vibes going on. So I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm going to stick with it. The premise sucked me in. There's a lot of variant covers as well, but I'll keep you informed. It's up in the air for me right now. Superman. the Kryptonite Spectrum. Totally love Black Label. And I'm getting back into Superman, so that's why I got this. But W. Maxwell Prince and Martin Morazzo and Chris O'Halloran. This is a very uniquely illustrated offering. There is a very unique, fresh way that they are doing his robots. They have a old school like vibe with the text. I totally like this, retro vibe here. This was pretty interesting. The whole premise here is he finds 4 new colors of kryptonite. And we know that the kryptonite does different things. And he gives you a rundown of what the known kryptonite in the universe does. And so he hollers at his boy Batman for some help. And Lex Luthor is in this. Very evil indeed. And he knows about this kryptonite, but Superman beat him to the punch. So this whole issue sets up where Superman needs to find out what this kryptonite does, because it's important, because Superman could destroy the world. And Superman is driven to find out. Batman wants to destroy the kryptonite, but they start off with the purple, and they do give you a huge offering of what this color does. And what it does is it puts things out of order in time. I thought that was interesting. I will say this, though, it didn't intrigue me that much. I thought, really, I was like, man, I don't know about that. But he gets glimpses of things in the future, things that have already happened. It's all mixed up. So they have a battle with Solomon Grundy, which is always good if you're into that. And they do this purple haze is when he's like fluxing in and out. It is a very intelligently written issue where they figure out how to survive this Solomon Grundy attack. And Lois Lane does give our guy some bad news. And he gets glimpses of this bad news. And this is a great shot. But he gets glimpses of Lois Lane wants to be a mother, and she thinks they should go their own way. And she's 40 years old in this iteration here. Don't think this is the canon universe. I don't know. If it is, this is a great key to have. So if you're a key hunter, I would definitely pick this up. A Superman fan, it is very fresh. It is, I believe, original. And there's some emotional stuff going on with Superman and his antagonist and Lois Lane. And they also give you a preview of what the blue cobalt does. Looks like it enlarges him. So I'm going to keep going. I totally dig it. Love Black Label. Love that fresh offering there. Now, we'll give this one 4 minutes because there's 2 issues. Dark Knight. Legends of the Dark Knight, might I add. Part 4 and 3. I got into this. I was doing some research on DeMatteis, and he's awesome. This story I think is so underrated. It was pitched at one point, and I don't know who the editor was, but they nixed it, saying it was too much like The Killing Joke. But this is pretty dark. There's dark things that the Joker does in here. I don't think you could get away with today. It'd be tough. But the writing is very poetic. It is very for the Joker going sane, where what happened was the Joker thinks he kills Batman, and he suppresses the Joker inside of him. And when Batman shows back up, the Joker resurfaces. And it is such a ride that he goes through these 2 issues. The suppression of the Joker is it's like he doesn't remember, but he keeps having nightmares, and it's the Joker trying to get back out. So it's like it's always going to be a part of him. And if you're in the Batman and stories with the Joker, this is a must-have. It's very affordable. There's numerous high points. I will say this, both characters do have a love interest, which I thought was very interesting, and it was very paralleled throughout these two issues. And there's one more issue, totally going to get on that. I believe there is. No, this was the last issue for this. You must read this. It's great. Highly recommended. Even if you're not a Batman fan, it's a great story. And I do believe it's underrated. It's so affordable, it's criminal if you don't get it. Cul-de-sac. This is my hit for the summer. If you're the writer, Mike Carey, artist Jonathan Weishak are bringing it big time. Bad Idea is a studio. I got Planet Death, and this totally interested me. They had a preview for it, and I'll tell you why right there. Look at that artwork. That is fantastic. And the paper in here, it's like a real coarse. I know that's a weird thing to bring up, but I'm a very tactile person, and this paper is awesome. It's not that glossy, shiny. It kind of brings back some of that nostalgia, reading them old newsprint books, and the artwork is just there, man. If anything, get it for the artwork. The story, to give you a little overview, is I'm saying traditional vampires, but it's a family of vampires. They live in a cul-de-sac. Imagine that. And it's like a coming of age story for their kids. The kids don't know that they are vampires yet. I'll give you some more of these appetizers. And there's a group that hunt the vampires, and they get a line on where these vampires are at. So they take the kids out to fantastic artwork. They take the children out on a camping trip, and they need to let them know, and this is their letting them know moment. And they freak out. And so the mother leaves them there to digest what has just been laid upon their little minds. And I said traditional vampire earlier, they're really not. They, instead of blood, they take life force. And this is an example. And there is gore. It's fantastically gory, for sure. But they put a spin on the traditional vampire and the taking the life force. I think that's been done before, but it feels fresh and original to me, is what I'm trying to get at. So it's not a stale vampire book. And I believe this one's going to go the distance. Like, there's a lot of characters here that can really evolve. And at the end, they introduce a hunter here into the fray. So the kids actually, when the mother goes back home, her and the other vampires are attacked, and they're all killed. So now the kids are on their own, straight up on their own. And they walk into the mess. They see what happened. The writer and the artist convey the emotions fantastically, like right there's an example. And I believe it's going to be a fantastic ride. The artwork's great, man. It goes black and white, color. It's highly impactful. They also give you, at the end, this is a little bonus. I thought this story was kind of cool. These people find a good boy. They call it B-side. It's pretty cool. So it looks like this is just a little story they throw in there. But this guy they find I thought it was a werewolf. I believe it is like a vampire cat or dog. And they fall in love with it like a child. But the neighborhood's pets are coming up missing. This is really funny. And what you find out You have some of these clowns, townies, don't like the guy, or they just fall in love with it. And turns out it's like a vampire, and all the pets that have been missing are now part of its gang. And they go to town. And it ends with a real twist at the end, like the police are like, what are you talking about, man? Like, you're actually telling us all this? Like, you're an accomplice to murder type deal. And he's like, did you find any bodies? Great stuff. So, cul-de-sac. Get that. Definitely get that, man. Get that Dark Knight, man. That's highly underrated in my book. Some of the others, it's a hit and miss today, man. It's DC and some indies, but outro.